Hello and welcome to day 88 of Dungeon 23. Today's going to be a pretty small room, and because we're kind of winding down, it's not going to be super complex. And I actually want to use this room to talk about something that is very, very simple, but almost completely unknown for some reason. And I think it's just because in the rules it's not explicitly, rather, it's not put anywhere that's easy to find. It's not super relevant in most cases, so it often gets forgotten very easily. So we're going to get to that once we finish up sketching the room. Alright, so this is going to be our room. It kind of has like it's cut in half by the barrier, and one side you can obviously enter through, but once this is still up, then you can't go through here. But once it's down, then you can. And what's going to be on here is going to be something that seems very simple, because it is very simple. And let's see here, we're going to get a skeleton. We're going to get one of our skeleton guys. And then we're going to our monstrosities, and we're going to get one of our rust monsters. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna call this guy we're just gonna make him quite small. He's gonna be a halfling skeleton or a gnome. It doesn't matter. The important thing is it's a small size skeleton. This. And the whole reason is because we want it to be a bit smaller so it could actually ride on the rust monster. So let's just make this guy, can't actually make him bigger. What we can do is make this guy a drawing, and then, boom. Actually, let's get rid of that guy's nameplate. And then just layer. Then we're going to group these guys. So now they move together. Okay, they should move together. Okay, that's annoying. Anyway, so I guess it will be grouped. Anyway, so what is so simple is how mounted combat works. Unless you're playing, like, specifically a Beastmaster or a Drake Warden or a Banneret, I believe they are, the Banneret fighters, or the, I think maybe Knights. I don't know what they're actually called. Anyway, very few classes have any kind of interaction with mounted creatures. So, chances are, you're not going to be riding one while in combat. And because it's done so rarely, or in such niche cases, a lot of people don't know how mounted combat works. And it is very, very, very simple. I'm actually kind of shocked about how simple it is. So, both creatures have their initiative, as if they're separate creatures, because they are. The only way they're different from just normal separate creatures is you could decide whether the creature is in full control, in which case it moves on its turn, it attacks on its turn, does all that stuff. Or you have it so it has its turn, but it cannot move on its turn, and instead it moves on the turn of whoever's riding it. And that speed is obviously the creature speed. It's as simple as if it's a player riding it and it's the player's turn, the player wants to move, they could just move the creature's movement speed, and then on the creature's turn, it can't move. It's so insanely simple, and it's not talked about. It's not appreciated how simple it is. And I think it's just purely because of how niche it is. And I feel like if it was a lot more well known, then perhaps we'd have a bit more mounted combat done in the game. But also, a lot of fighting does take place in confined areas. Like, it's not wise to bring a horse down here in this dungeon, and in most places. But still, it's something that I find really neat with how easy and simple it is. And that's basically this whole point of this room, just so I could talk about how mounted combat works, or just how movement works when you're mounting something. So yeah, this has been day 88. Very simple. We only have like 2 more days left. So we'll get to that when we get to that. And of course, the last room is going to be the exit. Although we didn't do that last time, most of the time it's going to be that way, unless there's a very specific thing we're trying to do. Anyway, thanks for watching and or listening. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And I apologize for the poor quality. It's not going to improve.